If you're watching this in the morning, good morning. If you're not, good afternoon, good midday, I don't know. But hey, happy to you. Happy 2021. Even though we're well into this month, this is, I think, I don't know, 16th. Yes, yesterday was 15th. So 16th of January 2021. Hope you're having a good year starting off. And hopefully, if you're making a bunch of resolutions, hopefully you nail them. Hopefully you stick with them. And hopefully you complete them and be done. Anywho, so today we are starting another project. As you see, the project behind me is the 1981 Chevrolet C10, a square body. So that one there, we've already pulled the motor out, the bed's off of it. This video, I want to start off as the 2000 Silverado motor transmission yank. This video is going to be on that. So this one is going to be a different video. I'm still working on this one. I don't want to get into this one right now. That I want to be part of a separate video. So I want to break these down into two series. So just let you know, on this video, that will have its own video. The 2000 Silverado that's sitting outside over yar is going to have its own build series as well. Quick breakdown of what we're doing on that video, or that build, is going to be complete motor teardown, complete transmission teardown. Not going to really do a how-to on this, but just follow. I will explain some things on how we do it, what we're doing, what works for us, you know, so far what we've done with several motors, engines. Transmissions we're new at. We have not really successfully rebuilt a transmission just yet. We have pulled that one out and attempted to rebuild it. Like I said, we're newbies on transmissions, so don't judge us too hard on that. So anywho, we do have, let me see, it's not in here. He did buy the repair manual for it. It's a complete teardown of the, was it a TH700, something like that, 4L60E, whatever they classify those two as. So don't go off in the comments about, oh, you need a 4L80, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. We're doing some mild stuff to this truck. We're going to do a cam. You know, it's going to be an increase of horsepower, but, you know, if you rebuild the 4L60s, there's a lot of arguments back and forth. Yes, the 4L80s are designed to hold a lot more torque and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. There's the 4L60 argument that, hey, the 4L60 has less inertia, you know, load, so it's a lot lighter on the inside of the components, but has a tendency to break. Well, the weak points have been addressed on these 4L60s, and I think if you do some more research, you'll find out that the 4L60s can hold up with the 4L80s. So right now, we're going to do our best. We're going to see what we can do to maybe increase that capability of this 4L60. But there's a lot of new things coming right now to this channel, to my business, Lone Star Customs. Please look in the link below, in the description below. You'll see a link to my Teesprings website. I've got all kinds of stuff on there. I've got stickers, I've got shirts, sweaters, I've got a coffee mug. Check it daily or check it weekly, check it, you know, frequently, because I'm trying to go in every morning and add something new, whatever pops in my head, try to get those creative juices flowing, throw some stuff in there, trying to be positive with it, and hopefully we can, you know, grow this channel, get some money in there, because I do have the profit margins on there. Well, I don't have them on there displayed, but trust me, I'm not making a ton of money on it. Whatever you buy, it's not like I'm making, you know, full profit on there, but it gives me the ability to sell merchandise for this channel, for my business. I need to throw up some stuff on there as jack of all trades. I got to put that up there as well to throw some love at this channel, but also support my business that I've started a couple years ago. So I'm trying to start over fresh kind of this year. Really start hammering down, now that I have the shop, really start hammering down on trying to grow this business, whether, it be through all kinds of revenues of, Instagram, YouTube, Teespring, whatever else I come across, and just this physically itself, being able to, make money, be my own man, be my own business owner. That's ultimately what I want to be in right now, is my own business. So that's what this is. I'm trying to throw this out there, all this content out there, so people can see what I'm capable of, what I can do, and feel confident that if they bring me a vehicle, I can take care of them, and I can do pretty much what they want. I try to be honest 100%. It's if I can't do it, I'll say, hey, I really don't know if it's something I can handle. If it is, if I feel confident, I'm like, hey, I got you, don't worry about it. Then hey, see what I've done in the past, I'm telling you, don't worry about it. So anywho, not to ramble on too long, this is gonna be another video. I'll label that as probably the C10 build, and the other one will be the Silverado build. That Silverado also has a 4.8, and we're gonna make it great. So stay tuned, and see what we got going on. So what I'm making here real quick is a plate, like an LS plate for pulling the motors, instead of just relying on 2 bolts, because we're going to pull the transmission and the motor together. So I wanted something a little bit more. I don't know what this would be considered, maybe an 1/8 inch plate, or I don't know, 1/16. It's fairly thick. It's not, can't bend it as easy, especially since there's going to be 8 bolts. And then I'm going to weld a little piece up here with a hole in it to hook in with the chain. What the hell? So anyways, so I'm going to punch these, drill the holes, and then use step bits, and make the holes about the same size. Alright, I'll show you a final product here in a second. Help me understand why this isn't coming out.
What's that? It doesn't feel like it.
This freaking dipstick.
Frickin'. It doesn't like us. That's why.
I'm dumping enough fucking rust.
No such thing.
It's coming up and down a little bit, but not much.
Today they'll deliver by 9 o'clock tonight. Order now. Squeezed.
So what? We just need the upstreams, right?
Do you want to shave that down?
Shave what now?
This one?
Oh, is it not now? Well, can you adjust the plate at all or no? No. I'll just drill a little bit bigger then.
1.7.
You sure? Because it's getting hot the other day.
That's the only one.
There we go. Alright, hey Tom. Snacks. Can't get it? We'll use the boxing. I tried. A lot easier for you to just transmission out separate. Quite honestly, it's a lot less mess. Yeah, you just have to unbolt it, but I think it's a lot easier. This just makes a fucking mess. What? It's not 15? Should be. Should be 1. I don't know, son. Did you set it somewhere else? Damn! Did the e-bike back on?
No. You get the brakes like anything about it?
Damn. Alright, let's go.
Create.
Because I wasn't
That's good.
Got it?
Fucking split right off.
Yeah. Looks like it's been off before.
I know.
See what Texas is.
Yay. Probably where the 500 bucks comes from.
Follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram.
Alright, go ahead. Alright guys, so today is the second day. What you watched us do was pull the motor out real quick. Filmed all day doing that. We just kind of took our sweet time doing that one. It was definitely not our fastest engine pull, was it? So anyways, my son's recording, so that's why I'm free with my hands. I can talk. Anyway, so right now what I was doing is taking some pictures of these two engines we have together. We have the 5.7, which is the 350, which you had seen in my intro. And we have the 4.8, my bad, 4.8. So the 4.8 is what came out of the 2000 Silverado, which is the boy that's recording right now. So we have the transmissions and we have the engines together. So I figured it'd be a great time. If you're new to any of this stuff, by any chance, if you aren't, maybe I'll mention something you weren't aware of. If not, hey, whatever. If you want to, throw some stuff in the links below and or comments below and inform me of something I might not know. I don't know. So what we have here below my feet is the 4L60E, and I believe is a turbo 350 or a TH700, but I believe it's a turbo 350. So, and then over here we have the 4.8 and the 5.7. So you have a 350 small block Chevy and you have a 4.8, which I'm not sure what that comes out to, like a 2 something. I don't know what they come out to. Anyways, I don't remember what the cubic inches is of that. So, anywho, just do a quick walk around, show you all what we have going on right now. If you've never seen these before, this is gonna be some new information for you. If not, if you've seen it before, then old information. You probably already know what I'm gonna go over. So, anywho, here we go. Here is the transmissions. And here you have the 4L60E and you have the Turbo 350. Now, the big difference on these is this one here is all hydraulic pressure, and you have your kickdown cable. So when you floor it, this cable gets pulled and it tells the transmission, hey, I need to drop a gear. So this is what this is for. This one here is electronic control. So inside the actual valve body of the transmission, you have all the little shift solenoids and everything. You have your hookups on top. This here is your what do they call it, a Prindle, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low. Just tells the computer what gear you're in, so it knows how to act, I guess. Not an expert on transmissions, never claimed to be an expert. Technically not an expert on anything, I'm just a jack of all trades. But from what we have researched and found out, not familiar with these older Turbo 350s because I've never been into one, but from what I've heard, they're basically the same. This is, what is this, your shift servo? Mm-hmm. So they both have shift servos on the same side. And I was just looking at it. The other difference is that this bell housing is removable versus this one. It's all solid cast. So there's nothing removable except for the tail shaft, like this one is. And you'll also see that there's, you know, a difference on the tail shafts. But generally speaking, you're pretty much looking at about the same length. It looks like the 4L60 might be, shit, that looks dead nuts. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you real quick, in case you're wondering. So we'll go from the top of the transmission. So we're at, right at the end of that shaft is 32 inches. Yep, 32 inches. So if you're looking to do a swap from an old transmission to a new one, new motors, whatever, from the looks of it, looks like you shouldn't have any issues as far as your length goes. So good chance at your drive shafts, which I believe your Camaro, we used the existing drive shaft, so there was no change. And that went from a, what was that?
04.
04. No, your transmission, that was a T5. Mm-hmm. So your transmission was a T5. So anywho, so there's a good look at your side-by-sides of your two different transmissions if you've never seen them side-by-side. Dipsticks are on the same side. This one's just pulled out. We didn't put it back in yet. But dipsticks are the same. This one here, same as this one, it ties into a bolt. This one would tie into a bolt. I think it's this one here. So starters in the same location. All right, so we'll go over here to the engine. Here you have the old school 5.7 liter, 350 cubic inches. Just your standard small block Chevy engine right here. This one is carbureted, so this one requires not a whole lot to run it, honestly. All you need is power to your coil, or yeah, to your coil, power to the distributor, and you can start this with some gas in it. That's it. You crank it over and she'll run. As opposed to the newer generation of stuff, the LS motors require a lot more. They require the computer. You have to unlock the computer and supply higher amount of pressure of fuel to this one versus this one. You could gravity feed fuel into this carburetor and it would run just fine. This one here, you have to have, what is it, about 50 to 60 psi to run this engine at all times. Plus you have to have your computer to control your ignition, your fuel injectors, and of course the timing. You know, it's going to time all that stuff together. So, and you have a way bigger intake, and that's, you know, also got your IAC, which is your intake air control, and then your throttle positioning sensor. So it's going to tell you, it's going to tell the computer also what position your throttle is at, and then when you let off the throttle, it's going to automatically adjust the throttle to keep it running at whatever you set it at. This has more emissions on it than the old school 350s ever did, because back in the 80s, you know, they were just kind of starting to get into the emissions and all that stuff. So it wasn't a big deal back then still. I'm not sure what year this is. It came out of that C10, but it's definitely an older, you know, it's an older small block Chevy. But that right there, guys, is pretty much your two engines back to back. If you have any questions, you've seen in my prior videos in my LS swap of my Camaro, you see me go through the whole wiring harness on this, which it's not here at this time. There's definitely more involved in these engines, but not too complicated. Once you get into them, if you've got the basics down on an engine, this really isn't that complicated. It's just a matter of paying attention to your connectors. And one thing I like about Chevy and what they do is GM is the fact that they make a different connector for everything. So your injectors have different connectors versus your coils, stuff like that. I've seen on Fords where you could have the same connector plug into all kinds of different stuff. I don't work on a whole lot of Fords, but a few that I have, I've seen that. So it's always a good idea to label that. But as far as, you know, once you do a couple of these engines, you'll get pretty familiar with, you know, your map sensor, your cam positioning sensor, your oil pressure sending unit, your evap solenoid, stuff like that. Once you kind of go through them once or twice, you catch on to them pretty quick. You got your cam positioning sensor down here, your oil level, that tells you when your oil gets low. And that's pretty much it, minus, you know, of course, your other exterior components like your overflow tank has a sensor on that. Your AC unit, of course, that has connectors to turn that on and off and monitor the pressures on that stuff. The other thing too is when you're tearing these down, there is a difference. On the newer engines, to get to your lifters and everything, and your push rods, well, at least your lifters, you have to pull the heads to get to your lifters. On the old school 350s, you could get to your lifters and your push rods. Well, like I said, you can get your push rods there, but to get to your lifters, all you had to do was pull your intake and just loosen up all your rockers and you can get to your lifters here. But it's still the same type of setup where you have a single cam and a timing chain. Same thing there, single cam and a timing chain for that. So it's just this big old honking thing here got replaced with a little tiny one that sits in the back of the intake, which I can take this nut and bolt it in. So there's your cam positioning sensor right there in the center. So that tells the computer what position in degrees the cam is in, and this is your oil pressure sending unit. And that's pretty much it. You got this back plate. There's really no back plate on these. Well, I guess there is. Yeah, there's a small one for like a little seal, looks like. It's been a while since I tore down one of these. More familiar with these right now. Bigger oil pan on this guy. So the other thing is the heads are aluminum versus cast iron heads. Of course, that's a cast block, but looking at them as they're sitting next to each other, I know Chevy looks like they definitely changed the degree angle of their the V. So it's a slight changes. This is definitely a far superior engine versus this one. Even though this one was a 350, this I think, well, at least I know, at least with the 5.3, the 5.3 would put out about 285 horse stock. I'm not sure what the 4.8 put out. I don't know if it wasn't far below it. It may have put out close to it, but in any case, we know this was a 4.8 because we ran the VIN number and that's what it showed up as. It was a 4.8. We'll find out once we pull the heads. So anyways, I'll quit boring y'all with this crap. We're gonna get into tearing down this engine. All right, guys.
Yeah, it's a rich thing.